Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Deluxe release, Target exclusive, Captain America, Symbol of Truth. This is the Sam Wilson Captain America, Falcon Cap, if you will. This is a new figure. It is not yet in stores. It did not come from Target. It was not my pre-order. Did not find it in the store. I did get mine from Figure Grail, which it did come from overseas initially. So that is how I have it. Again, it's not in stores. Don't run to your nearest Target yet. I think the pre-order says it'll ship out in June sometime. Whether they show up early or not, I really don't know. But it is a really cool one. We did get a Sam Wilson Captain America figure in the Marvel Legends line many years ago. That was a Target exclusive 3-pack, a New Avengers, I think it was called, that had Kate Bishop and Vision. So now people have another opportunity to get this Sam Wilson Captain America figure. And in terms of paint, I think it's going to have a lot of improvements because at the time of this, not that at the time it was bad, but I think they've made a lot of improvements on how they do paints. It is essentially the same exact figure though, so expect to see pins and go from there. The big difference is the shield is the Sam Wilson Captain America shield as opposed to a regular Captain America shield, as you see there. And then he has a backpack piece and wings, where this one did not come with wings. This is what we got. So I'm excited for this one. The Deluxe release does look really good. Side of the box, we get some awesome looking Sam Wilson artwork there. That reminds me very much of Anthony Mackie, which, of course, I had to bring it out. We have the Anthony Mackie Captain America figure there. So we can kind of do some side-by-side comparisons. You could clearly see the inspiration for the MCU suit was, directly from the comics. Very comic accurate. Looking at the back of the package, we get that artwork there. The bio reads, Sam Wilson takes the mantle of Captain America to new heights, combining the iconic shield with his signature wings versus threats near and abroad. So, there we go. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Okay, so here's the figure out of the package. Yeah, it's a fun one. It really is. It's not the greatest figure at all. It is essentially a reissue, a re-release, repaint of a very old body at this point. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of crazy. The wings are definitely a nice touch. The shield is cool because it's, the updated decal on the shield, but it still has the dreaded C-clip, and I have it clamped onto his... I have it clamped on his wrist, but I'm scared to use it. I don't like doing it because this clip is so unbelievably fragile. You're going to see stress marks real quick, and then it's going to, snap. You have to be so unbelievably careful. It kind of pisses me off. I hate that shield. Really, really hate it. C-clip is terrible. It does have the peg on there so he can peg it to his back. Don't put it on his wrist because, again, that is extremely dangerous. But here we have the figure, and it is a fun one. For sure, a fun one. I really enjoy it. I really like it. I kind of already have it, but the wings, again, are a very nice touch. The color updates in the deco are not bad. We get a lighter blue. The red is brighter. So there are some good things kind of going on for that, and I will show a comparison so you guys could check out. But there's an up-close look at it. Really cool. Let's go ahead and take it off the stand, and we'll take a better look at the figure. Okay, so I'm showing you guys this because I got to figure something out. So I tried to put the wings on this Falcon thinking, oh, maybe, the wings go on Falcon. You can have a cool looking Falcon figure. And yeah, kind of. I had to force that peg into the back. And I didn't put it in straight, and I can't really get it out. So, oopsie. Don't try that at home. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Why didn't it work? You see that peg hole? It's not a standard hole. That is a hexagonal shape, a hexagon. And the peg is also a hexagon, and that hexagon does not line up with the way that hexagon is oriented there. That is why this does not work. Was that done on purpose? I don't know. No, it couldn't have been because... at the time, this Captain America is years older than the Falcon figure, and you could see the hexagon were oriented differently. So it's not like something like, oh, Hasbro just doesn't want you putting these wings on Falcon, unless they plan that years in advance of making the Falcon figure. I don't think that is the case there, especially because this Falcon figure is just the Spider-Man 2099 upper torso. So no, there's no conspiracy there. It just is one of those unfortunate things that is not going to work. I thought it'd be a great idea. I'm sure people would have wanted to see it, but alas, not going to work. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Captain America figure, and so the Falcon thing, right? It's done, it's over with. But here's consequence to my experimenting and trying things for you guys. That backpack piece has no longer got the friction to hold it in place because I forced this because I forced this peg hook into that back of that Falcon figure, it just wore it down just enough to where it does not have that friction, that nice friction hold to keep that backpack in place. That is not a defect in the figure. That is a defect in my thinking of trying to try those wings on the Falcon figure, which I know a lot of folks are probably going to try. So I will tell you now, don't do it, because that backpack piece will now not stay on the back of the figure. So I'm worried that once I reattach these wings, is the weight of the wings really just going to make it fall off from standing up and doing all of that too. So don't make the mistake that I did. So just a heads up on that. So while we're here, let's talk about these wings. Let's look at them. The wings look awesome. They have a curvature to them, which is really cool. So when you get them into different flights, flight poses, literal flight poses, right, with the wings, you can move the wings around and stuff, but it has a nice curve to them. Sculpt-wise, they look really good. They're all just a red hunk of plastic. There's no paint on them whatsoever, but it does look really good. The same goes for the other one. It's obviously just the left orientation versus a right orientation, but those are the wings there. So looking at the backpack, this looks pretty good. A nice gunmetal on there with some blue and some red. The red obviously to match the wings. You can see you can have them kind of in this down position, and then you can move those wings all around. To get them, to get the wings put on there is actually pretty easy. As you could just see, you got these pegs there. It just clamps right on in there, and right there like so on the other side, and you can move those wings around. So we can get our Sam Wilson Captain America. I could port that backpack right on there, and son of a bitch, this is not going to be a fun review, guys. Silly me for trying it. It's one of those things where, like, if I wouldn't have done it, people would have asked about it, be like, why didn't you try the wings on Falcon? I'd be like, oh, I don't know, I didn't think about it. And against my best judgment, I did it. I did it, and I shouldn't have done it. So standing up, if you're not really moving around, yes, that backpack will, it won't stay on whatsoever. I'm so disappointed. Again, not a defect in the figure. It was holding up just fine before I went ahead. It was like, hey, I got this really nifty, cool idea, and it turned out to not really be all that nifty, cool of an idea. So I'm going to try maybe some super glue on it to kind of thicken it up a little bit, try to peg it on there. We'll see if that works. Fingers crossed, guys. Okay, so super funny story, super funny. The Captain America figure that I was just showing you guys was actually the old one, not the new one. That's how much alike the two figures are, but doesn't change the fact that the peg probably still would have been loose. I didn't have super glue, but I used a bit of tape on there, and then I don't know if it's the tape residue that's holding it kind of there. The tape is already like coming off and everything like that. But the backpack is sticking now, and again, I don't know if that's because I was using the old Captain America figure or the new one, but silly me, look, this one's not falling off. That could have been it. But again, the two figures are extremely similar, as they should be, because they are basically the exact same. The head sculpts are the same. The paint apps are what's going to be different. So the side-by-side comparisons, as you can see, one has a dark blue, the other has a bright, well, more of a matte finish to the boots. Like the older one with the dark blue, the red is a little bit shinier. The new one is brighter, but that could also just be because of like the matte finish, which I guess doesn't really make sense, right? We get gray knee pads as opposed to silver knee pads. The belt, we get a gray belt buckle there as opposed to a silver on the previous release. And then the pouches are a lighter gray. We do get a nice silver color here on the shoulder, those shoulder pieces, but a lighter blue, which I think I like the lighter blue a little bit more. In terms of paint, there is some, you could see some of the blue bleed through a little bit. It was more noticeable on the older one, and you could see the paint was like a shinier paint versus what we have now, so a more matte finish. But I do really like the toned down blue, as well as the slightly darker red on the stripes, and you could see they're matte as opposed to kind of the shiny finish that we had previously there. And then some of the gray parts, like right here under his arm, is the light gray versus a dark gray of the previous one. But that's really all that's going on there. So they are the exact same. No real change there or anything. It does his hair, the black paint on for his hair is a little bit shinier though, which is interesting. Looking at the cowls are the same, but the goggles have a darker silver paint. This is a very light silver paint, kind of matches the shoulder. As you can see, it's brighter here versus the darker silver on the newer one, so the goggles will really match that. And then red lenses. The red paint on the lenses is actually a little bit shiny versus the older one, which had a matte finish, which is kind of the opposite you would kind of think and go for. But there we have it, side by side, essentially the same exact figure. So if you have this one and don't need the wings, you're good. If you don't have this one, you got this one, or you will get this one, you get the wings. That's kind of the best way to go about it, I think. So now let's go ahead and get to the articulation. Okay, so articulation. I do want to show the articulation of the wings. You can get the wings to go essentially straight up, like so, and then down all the way to its lowest point, as you can see there. So we got that movement there, and then this wing the wings can move back and forward as well. So if we're kind of blocking for armor, that's as far forward as that you're actually going to be able to get it to go. So that is a pretty cool look. Here in front, it doesn't really cover him a whole lot, but you know, it'd be difficult to really do that. So that is the articulation that we have there for the wings. So we're going to go ahead and take those wings off, and we'll move on and just focus on the figure itself in terms of the articulation, so we could see what he can do. But he can look up that much, which helps for some flight poses. He can look down that much there. Head swivel there. The head is on a disc hinge, by the way. The shoulder, you can get the shoulder to go up that far. You get a full rotation in that shoulder there as well. You got an upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed pinned elbow. Again, this is an older body, just reissued, so you get just at 90 degrees bend there, wrists swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all the hands. We get a fist for the left, a grip hand for the right. We have that throwing, gesturing hand there for the left, and then the extra hand that there it is a grip for the left. The hands are like the new. This grip hand actually has the vertical hinge, which is good. These hands match the Ultimate Captain America figure that came out in the Puff Adder wave. This Captain America here, these gloves match this one. These gloves would not technically match the same gloves of those hands, but if you're swapping them out both, then you're okay. If you have one on with the other, these ones never actually really match themselves either, which was kind of... Oh, no, I guess it is. I guess it's just hard to see in the sculpt. But this one has this back plating that sticks out a little bit more on the right hand versus the left. So if you were to put this hand on there, the gloves wouldn't match. Is it a big deal? No, because the reds match. It's just a heads up so you guys know about it. The figure can lean back that much. Coming forward is not going to be a whole lot. It's only going to come forward that much, which isn't great. And as you can see, like this blue little dip there stops that ab from coming forward anymore. So that's a little unfortunate. You got that waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. Not very good. That's how they were back then. Leg kicks forward that much. Not very good. Does go back. We get an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee. It is a pinned knee, as they are the same as the previous Sam Wilson figure. You got the boot swivel there. Foot hinges down all the way. You don't really get a whole lot of up hinge because the shin guard and the boot meet together. You can kind of mush it together, but it doesn't really give you a whole lot. But you got a nice ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet there. So that is Sam Wilson's articulation. Pretty good. Not great. Older body is kind of presents its limitations. If it was a newer body, it'd probably be better. But that's what we got. So side-by-side comparisons, I want to show you the shield. The newer shield is much larger in design, and then full body side-by-side comparison of the two caps. Again, lighter colors, more of a matte finish, better paint than what we had many years ago in a Toys R Us exclusive. Okay, Sam Wilson, Captain America, here. We have the MCU Sam Wilson Captain America and the comic Sam Wilson Captain America. Again, this suit was very comic accurate, as you could see. I mean, minus the red boots. We get some red in the gauntlet pieces, not exactly red, but in terms of the design, like on the chest, the emblem, and the stripes, very, very comic accurate in my opinion. So I didn't bring out the wings for Falcon to fit better in my display. Had them without the wings, but the wings were kind of that vulture style where they ported into the back of the arms. So the wings were very different. They really wouldn't compare. That's why I wanted to try the backpack piece on Falcon to see how it looks. But anyway, we had two versions of that Falcon figure. One that was on a retro card and one that came in the Gamerverse wave. It was... I can't remember the Build-A-Figure, if it was Joe Fix-It or if it was Abomination, one of those. But yeah, anyway, we have 2 different Sam Wilsons. We had 2 of those Falcon figures, and we have 2 of these Captain America figures. Go figure. There we have Sam Wilson. Okay, so there is Sam Wilson, Captain America, a really fun figure. And again, if you didn't get that one from years ago, it was a Toys R Us exclusive. I want to say it was kind of around the time or shortly before Toys R Us ended up going bankrupt and closing. So it was kind of one of those ones where probably didn't really need it at the time. It was like, oh, he doesn't have his wings. We don't want that Captain America figure. And then we never got another Sam Wilson Captain America figure until now. So Target exclusive, again, not yet in Target stores. Pre-orders have not yet shipped out. Mine came from Figure Grail overseas. So just a heads up on that. But anyway, Sam Wilson, Captain America Deluxe, Symbol of Truth. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I think it is an awesome one. Easy pickup if you don't have that previous one. If you have the previous one, you may not want it unless you really want the wings. And guys, the wings are cool. They really are. But again, don't make the mistake. Don't put that backpack on the comic Falcon figure. It's not going to work. Don't do it. Okay, don't do it. And if you have the other Sam Wilson Captain America figure, don't mix them up like I did, because that was pretty stupid. I actually deleted a whole clip that it would have been extra in there. And it was kind of funny now that I think about it, but whoopsie. You guys let me know your thoughts on the Captain America figure. I'm really happy with it. Let me know in the comments below. I will have a link to Target's website. I think it's still up for pre-order, so I'll have a link in the video description below in case you guys want to get your pre-order in. So there we have it. If you guys liked the video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.